Hey, Mark Satterfield here. Thanks so much for joining me. Got asked an interesting question the other day, which is, really, why do I bother trying to market my services to the wealthy and the affluent? Well, there's a couple of different reasons. One, of course, is the fact that the wealthy and the affluent have the money to invest and work with you, and there's absolutely no point in trying to sell stuff to poor people. But beyond that, here let me throw something out as an idea, and you may agree with this, you may not. It may not be particularly PC, but look. I think the wealthy, by and large, make for much more interesting clients. And the reason I say that is most of the wealthy are people who have started companies, they've grown their businesses, they've been successful. And quite frankly, if you're hanging around with successful people, not only is it stimulating, not only do you learn stuff, but it just creates an overall better life for yourself. I mean, think about who you're hanging around with, and are they all that interesting? Are they, mostly talking about rather mundane things? Or if you ask them questions, do they have interesting perspectives? Have they been on interesting journeys? Is their life interesting? Are there things that just kind of, are kind of interesting to learn about? And even better, are there things that you can learn from them? So there's a lot of benefits to focusing on the affluent and wealthy, and at least in my opinion, it is definitely worth the effort. That, of course, brings the question about how do you actually develop relationships with the affluent, especially if you don't know any. And good news for you, I happen to have written a book on that topic. I know you know me, and you know I'm going to work this book in somewhere in this video. But seriously, folks, what I did was when I wrote this book was to think about all the different strategies you can use to build relationships. I went out and interviewed lots of wealthy people across all sorts of different kinds of backgrounds, people that had ran successful companies, people who had inherited their wealth, people who had sold their companies. The list goes on and on. And I asked them, how can somebody new get on your radar screen? How can somebody new develop a relationship with you? And guess what? There's more than one way of doing it. And that's the key, because what you want to do with any kind of marketing program is to develop a few, not one, but, and not a boatload, but a few methods for building relationships. And so when I wrote the book, I wanted to cover the waterfront. In my previous books, I kind of went into one specific path, and there's a lot of value. For example, building out a sales funnel that I talked about in the 1 week marketing plan. But here I cover everything: online, offline, networking, in person, not in person, direct mail, old school, new school, you name it, I cover it in the book. So if you haven't had a chance to get the book, please get the book. If you've got the book and it's sitting on your bookshelf, by all means, read it, because it doesn't do you any good just sitting on your bookshelf. As my dad would say, you can't learn to swim by reading a book. You got to get out there and you got to apply it. So first things first, get yourself a copy. Because I tell you, after doing this for 31 years, it is definitely worth the effort to do business with the wealthy and the affluent. Okay, hope you found this helpful. Thank you as always for being a part of my community. If you know other people who are trying to build relationships with the wealthy and the affluent, hey, send this along to them. Encourage them to subscribe to my various channels. It's good for them. It's good karma for you. And yeah, hey, it's good for me. All right, till we talk again, this is Mark Satterfield. Bye for now.